She texted at 11 p.m. Staying at Jessica's tonight. Girl talk. But Jessica posted an Instagram story from Cabo. Posted 3 hours ago. I replied, have fun. Then I changed every streaming password, removed her from my phone plan, and updated my emergency contacts. When she came home 2 days later, and nothing worked. Original post. I, 31 male, have been with my girlfriend for almost 3 years. We don't live together officially. She has her own apartment across town, I have mine, but we spend most weekends at my place, and she's essentially integrated into every aspect of my daily life. By integrated, I mean she's been on my phone plan for 2 years. I added her during a rough financial patch and just never took her off. She uses all my streaming accounts daily. Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Spotify Premium, all logged in on her devices. And she's listed as my emergency contact at work and with my primary care doctor. These weren't things she demanded or manipulated me into. They just happen naturally over time because that's how relationships evolve. You share passwords. You add someone to your family plan. You stop thinking about whose account is whose because you're supposedly building a life together. At least, that's what I thought we were doing. Last Thursday night, I was home alone catching up on some shows when my phone buzzed at 11:07 p.m. Text from my girlfriend. Her, hey babe, staying at my friend's tonight. Girl talk marathon happening, LOL. Don't wait up. Love you. 2 hearts. I texted back. No worries. Have fun with her. Love you too. Seemed completely normal, right? She does this periodically. Her best friend lives about 40 minutes away in the suburbs. They have their wine nights and gossip sessions, and she crashes there instead of driving back late. It's happened maybe 8 or 9 times over 3 years. Never been an issue worth thinking about. But here's the thing. I couldn't sleep that night. Work stress has been brutal lately, and insomnia has become my unwanted companion. So around 1 a.m., I was just mindlessly scrolling through social media, trying to bore myself to sleep. Instagram, mostly. And that's when I saw something that made my stomach drop. Her best friend had posted an Instagram story. Posted 3 hours ago, according to the timestamp. A video of her standing on a beach at golden hour, margarita in hand, massive smile on her face, with the caption, Cabo Day 2, living my best life. Palm tree tropical drink. Her best friend was in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Had been for at least 2 days based on her story highlights that I clicked through. Beach photos, restaurant selfies, a video of her at some resort pool. There was absolutely no possible way my girlfriend was at her apartment having girl talk because her friend was literally on a different continent. I sat there staring at my phone for probably 5 solid minutes, just processing what I was seeing, the timeline, the lie, the casualness of it. I screenshot the Instagram story, checked the timestamp again, 10:02 p.m., looked at my girlfriend's text again, 11:07 p.m., staying at my friend's tonight, girl talk marathon. My girlfriend had used her best friend as an alibi without apparently bothering to check said friend's social media first. Amateur hour. Genuinely embarrassing execution of a lie. The question wasn't whether she was being dishonest. That was mathematically obvious. The question was what I was going to do about it. I could have called her immediately, demanded answers, gotten into a 2 a.m. screaming match over the phone while my blood pressure spiked. That's probably what most people would do. But something in me just shifted, like a circuit breaker flipping off. I didn't feel the expected surge of anger. I felt cold instead. Focused, weirdly calm. I texted her back, have fun, 2 hearts. Then I got to work. First, I changed every streaming password. Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Spotify Premium. Logged out all devices on every platform. Changed each password to a random 16-character string I generated online. Took about 15 minutes total. Second, I logged into my Verizon account and initiated the removal of her line from my family plan. She'd maintain service until the end of the current billing cycle, about 12 days away, but after that, her phone would become a very expensive paperweight unless she set up her own account. Third, I updated my emergency contacts. Changed them at work through the HR portal at 2 a.m., blessed 24/7 self-service systems. Then I called my doctor's office first thing Friday morning when they opened and updated their records too. Fourth, and this one was admittedly petty, I changed the password on my Amazon account. She had my login saved for Prime shipping and had been ordering stuff to her apartment on my membership for over a year. Protein bars, skincare products, random household items. All on my dime. Not anymore. I didn't confront her. I didn't demand explanations. I just quietly, methodically removed her from the infrastructure of my life. Every shared service, every point of access, every privilege that came with being my girlfriend. She texted me Friday morning around 10 a.m., heading home from my friends. Want to grab lunch today? I replied, can't today, swamped with work stuff. Maybe this weekend. Her, okay, crying face, miss you, babe. I didn't respond to that one. She texted again Saturday afternoon. Still busy? Is everything okay? You're being kind of quiet. Me, you're just dealing with some things. Talk soon. I was buying time. Partially to observe how long she'd maintain the lie. Partially because I genuinely didn't know what I wanted to say yet. My brain was still processing. She came over Sunday evening, 2 full days after the original lie. Let herself in with the key I'd given her 18 months ago, which I'd completely forgotten to ask back. That was an oversight I'd need to correct. I was sitting on the couch watching some random documentary when she walked in. Her, hey babe, I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. What's going on with you? Me, it's been 3 days. Her, I know, but still. You've been so distant. She dropped her overnight bag by the door, came over to kiss me. I let her, but didn't reciprocate with any enthusiasm. She noticed immediately. Her, okay, something's definitely wrong. What is it? Talk to me. Me, just tired. Long week. She looked skeptical, but settled onto the couch next to me anyway, pulled out her phone, and that's when I watched the exact moment realization hit her face. Her, what the? Why isn't Netflix working? Me, her, it's saying the password is incorrect. Did you change it? Me, try Hulu. She tried Hulu. Same error message. HBO Max, same thing. Her face was cycling through confusion, annoyance, then the first flicker of worry. Her, did you change all the passwords? What's going on? Me, yeah, I changed them. All of them. Her, why? What happened? Me, how was your friend's place Thursday night? The color drained from her face. Subtle, but I was watching for it. Her, it was fine. Why do you ask? Me, did she have a good time in Cabo? Silence. A long, heavy silence. Her, what? Me, your friend. She was in Cabo San Lucas. Posted about it on Instagram. Has been there since at least Wednesday based on her story highlights. So I'm genuinely curious. Where were you actually Thursday night? She opened her mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. I could practically see her brain scrambling for an explanation. Her, I can explain. Me, I'm sure you can, but I'm not sure I'm interested in hearing it anymore. Update 1, 5 days later. Thank you all for the comments and perspectives. I genuinely needed outside input because I was starting to question whether I was overreacting. Here's everything that's happened since Sunday. Monday, my girlfriend showed up at my apartment completely unannounced. I was at work, normal 9 to 5 stuff, so she let herself in with her key. I found out via text. I'm at your apartment. We need to talk about this. I'll wait here until you're home. I didn't rush. I finished my workday completely, stopped for food on the way home, and walked through my door around 7:30 p.m. to find her sitting on my couch, mascara streaked, clearly having been crying. Her, you've been ignoring me for 2 full days. Me, I've been thinking. Her, about what? You won't even let me explain what happened. Me, you've had the entire drive over here to compose an explanation. You've had 3 days to craft a story. I'm listening now. Let's hear it. She took a deep breath, clearly gathering herself. Her, I wasn't at my friend's place Thursday night. I was with a coworker. A group of us from the office went out for drinks after work. It was someone's birthday, and things went later than expected. I crashed at my coworker's apartment because I'd had too much wine to drive safely. Me, and you lied about it because... Her, because I knew you'd be weird about it. You always get jealous and suspicious when I mention going out with work people. Me, do I? Her, yes. You make those little passive-aggressive comments. Asked who was there, who I talked to. Act all suspicious for days afterward. I sat with that for a moment. Genuinely tried to recall a single instance where I'd been weird about her going out with coworkers. I couldn't conjure any memory of that happening. Me. So your solution to me supposedly being weird, which I don't actually remember ever being, was to lie about your location and use your best friend as a detailed cover story? Her. I panicked in the moment. I didn't want to start a fight over nothing. Me. Here's the thing, though. If you just texted going out with work people for someone's birthday, might crash at a coworker's place, that wouldn't have been a fighting matter. That's a completely normal thing to do. Her. You say that now. Me. I'd have said it then, too. But we'll never know, will we? Because you chose to construct an elaborate lie instead of just telling me the truth. She started crying again. Genuine tears or performance. I couldn't tell anymore. Her. I made a mistake, okay? People make mistakes. You're acting like I cheated on you or committed a crime or something. Me. Did you? Cheat on me. Her, I absolutely swear nothing happened. It was drinks and talking and then sleep. That's it. I wanted to believe her. Part of me genuinely, desperately wanted to believe her. But something kept nagging at me. If it was really just innocent work drinks, why go through the effort of creating a false alibi? Why not just tell the truth from the start? Me, here's what I'm stuck on. You didn't just tell a casual lie. You used a specific person, your best friend, as your cover story. Which means this wasn't a panic response. You thought about it, decided it was your best option, and executed it. You just didn't bother checking if your alibi was actually airtight first. Her, I didn't plan anything. I just said the first thing that popped into my head. Me, at 11 p.m., after drinking, the first thing that popped into your head was a detailed alibi involving a specific friend's apartment? She had no answer for that. Me, I need time to think about all of this. And I need you to leave your key on the counter before you go. Her eyes went wide. You're taking my key. Me, I'm asking you to leave it. Yes. Her, this is absolutely insane. Over one lie about where I slept one night? This is a massive overreaction, and you know it. Me, maybe it is, but it's my apartment and my decision to make. She threw the key onto the counter, literally threw it hard enough that it skidded across and almost fell off the other side, grabbed her bag, and stormed out. Slammed the door, so hard a picture frame rattled on my wall. Tuesday through Thursday brought a barrage of text messages. I'll summarize the recurring themes. I was being emotionally abusive by giving her the silent treatment. She made one single mistake, and I was throwing away 3 years over nothing. I needed to grow up and stop being so pathetically insecure. Her mother agreed I was being completely unreasonable, she told her mom. Wonderful. If I didn't respond, soon she was going to assume the relationship is over. I didn't respond to a single message. Friday, her phone service got disconnected. The billing cycle ended. I received a confirmation notification from Verizon that her line had been successfully removed from my plan. Within 45 minutes, I got an email from her personal account. Did you seriously cut off my phone? I'm at work and my phone just stopped working. What is wrong with you? I replied simply. The phone line was on my plan as a favor. Favors can be revoked when trust is broken. You're welcome to set up your own service at any carrier. Her response. I can't afford a phone plan right now. You know I'm trying to save money for my trip next month. This is financial abuse. Financial abuse. Because I stopped voluntarily paying for a phone. A phone I've been covering for 2 years out of generosity. I didn't respond to that email. Saturday evening, she showed up at my apartment again. This time I was home. Her through the closed door because I didn't unlock it. Opened the door. We need to talk like adults. Me, we've talked. You lied to me. I'm still processing that. Her. You can't just cut me off from everything. The streaming, the phone. Now you won't even let me into the apartment. Me. Those were all things I provided as part of our relationship. I'm reconsidering the relationship, so I'm reconsidering everything attached to it. Her. This is controlling behavior. You're trying to control me through money. Me. I'm not controlling anything. I'm just not subsidizing you anymore. There's a significant difference. She banged on the door several more times, yelled some more accusations about my character, then finally left. I heard her stomp down the hallway. Her mother called me that night. I didn't answer. She left a 3-minute voicemail about how I was breaking her daughter's heart over nothing and needed to be a real man and communicate properly. I texted back, "Your daughter lied about her whereabouts. I'm taking time to figure out how I feel about that. Please respect my space." She didn't respond. Update 2, 11 days later. Things escalated significantly. Here's everything that happened. After my last update, I continued not engaging with my girlfriend's constant attempts at contact. She got a new phone plan somewhere, probably Mint or one of those cheaper options, because text started coming from a new number by Sunday. Monday, I receive an unexpected message. Her best friend, the one who was actually in Cabo, the one my girlfriend had used as an unwitting alibi, reached out to me on Instagram. Her friend, "Hey, I heard you and my best friend are having problems." She told me some of what happened. "Can we talk? I feel weird about being in the middle of this." I agreed to a phone call that evening after work. Her friend, "Look, I need you to know something." She used my name as her cover story without asking me, which is really not okay. I only found out about it when her MOM called me last week asking if I would back up her story about that night. I was literally still in Mexico when that call happened. I couldn't have been with her Thursday night because I was 2,000 miles away. Me, I know. I saw your Instagram stories. That's how I figured out the lie. Her friend, right? Well, I want you to know that I told her mom I wasn't going to lie to anyone. I don't even know where she actually was that night. She won't tell me either. Every time I ask, she just says it doesn't matter. He's completely blowing everything out of proportion and changes the subject. Me, she told me she was at drinks with co-workers and crashed at someone's apartment. Her friend went quiet for a few seconds. Her friend, she doesn't do drinks with co-workers. Like ever. She absolutely hates those people. She's complained to me about forced work happy hours for literally years. Called them torture. My stomach dropped further than I thought possible. Me, so you don't think the co-worker story is true? Her friend, I'm not going to speculate about things I don't know. But I'm telling you it sounds weird to me. And I'm telling you that when I directly asked her where she really was, she deflected and changed the subject. 3 separate times. I thanked her sincerely for the honesty and for reaching out. She said she hoped things worked out, whatever that ended up meaning. Tuesday, I made a firm decision. I wasn't going to play amateur detective. I wasn't going to dig through her phone or track her location or hire some private investigator like people in the comments kept suggesting. If the relationship required that level of constant surveillance and suspicion, it wasn't a relationship worth preserving. I texted my girlfriend, "We need to talk in person." Wednesday, 7 p.m., the coffee shop on 3rd Street. Public place. She agreed immediately. Finally. Yes, I'll be there. Wednesday evening, I showed up 5 minutes early. She was already seated at a corner table, looking anxious but also hopeful, like she'd convinced herself this was going to be a reconciliation, that I'd finally come around. Her. "I'm so relieved you finally want to talk. I missed you so much. This whole situation has been..." Me, I talked to your friend. Her face froze mid-sentence. Me, she told me some interesting things. Like how she refused to lie for you when your mother called asking her to corroborate your story. And how you won't tell her where you actually were Thursday night either. Her, she had no right to call you. That's between me and her and has nothing to do with our relationship. Me, she reached out because you used her as an alibi without asking permission. She felt uncomfortable being dragged into your deception. Her, this is so incredibly stupid. Everyone is making such an enormous deal out of absolutely nothing. Me, then tell me where you were. The real answer this time, because the coworker drink story doesn't hold up. Your own friend says you hate work happy hours. Have complained about them for years. She stared at the table, then at her hands wrapped around her coffee cup, then slowly back up at me. Her, fine. You want the actual truth. Me, that would be refreshing, yes. Her, I was with my ex. The words hung in the air between us. She watched my face for a reaction. I kept my expression neutral, even though my insides felt like they were imploding. Me, your ex. As in your ex-boyfriend. Her, yes. But it's not what you're automatically assuming. He reached out because he was going through a really hard time. His mom got diagnosed with something serious, and he asked if we could meet up and talk. I said yes because I'm not heartless. We got dinner. Talked for hours. I ended up crashing on his couch because it was so late. Me. And you lied about all of this because... Her. Because I knew you would freak out. Exactly like you're doing right now. Me. I'm not freaking out. I'm asking clarifying questions. Her. Your entire face went cold the second I said his name. I can see it happening. Me. Maybe because my girlfriend of 3 years just admitted she secretly spent the night at her ex-boyfriend's apartment and constructed an elaborate lie to hide it from me. Her. Nothing happened. We talked. We reminisced. I was being a supportive friend to someone who needed it. That's literally all. Me. A supportive friend you felt you had to hide from your current boyfriend using a fake alibi. Her. Because you're exactly like this. Look at yourself right now. You're already assuming the worst possible thing. I leaned back in my chair, took a deliberate breath. Me. Here's my problem. Maybe nothing happened. Maybe you genuinely just talked and slept innocently on his couch. I have absolutely no way of verifying that. But you lied to me. You constructed a fake alibi using your best friend. When I confronted you about it, you made up a second, completely different lie about coworker drinks. It took almost 2 weeks, your friend reaching out to me independently in direct confrontation for you to tell me what actually happened. How am I supposed to trust a single thing you say going forward? Her. I was scared. I knew exactly how this would look. Me. If it was genuinely innocent, it would have looked completely fine if you just told me up front. Hey, babe, my ex is going through something heavy with his mom. I'm going to meet him for dinner to be supportive. Might be late. I might not have loved it, but I would have respected the honesty enormously. Her. You would have told me not to go. Me. You don't actually know that. You didn't give me the opportunity to respond. You just decided to lie instead. She started crying. So that's it? We're completely done? 3 years together, and you're throwing everything away because I had dinner with someone? Me. I'm ending this because you lied to me. Twice. 3 times if you count the original text. And because you still seem to genuinely believe the problem here is my reaction rather than your actions. In the past 2 weeks, you've called me controlling, insecure, jealous, paranoid, and emotionally abusive. All because I stopped paying for your phone and streaming services after discovering you lied to me. Her. You are being controlling. Me. I'm removing myself from a situation where I fundamentally cannot trust my partner. That's not control. That's basic self-preservation. I stood up from the table. Her. Where are you going? Me. Home. We're done here. I'll box up any of your belongings I find in my apartment. You can pick them up from my building's front desk. Her. You can't just unilaterally decide that. We're in a relationship. We have to work through difficult things together. Me. We did work through it. This is the result of that process. I walked out without looking back. She stayed at the coffee shop. I could hear her crying as the door closed behind me. Final update, 10 days later. The dust has mostly settled now. Here's where everything ended up. After the coffee shop confrontation, my ex, officially ex now, went through what I can only describe as the stages of grief, except anger was the dominant emotion throughout every stage. She texted constantly for the first 3 days. The messages escalated from "you're making a huge mistake" to "you'll never find someone as good as me" to literally "everyone thinks you're massively overreacting" to finally "I hope you enjoy being alone for the rest of your life." I didn't respond to any of it. Eventually, I blocked her number entirely. She switched to email. Same escalation pattern, just longer messages. I created a filter to automatically route her emails to a folder I'll never check. She showed up at my apartment twice more. The first time, I simply didn't answer the door. She cried and knocked for about 25 minutes before giving up. My neighbor across the hall actually texted me, asking if everything was okay. The second time, I wasn't even home. I'd been staying at my sister's place most evenings specifically to avoid these potential confrontations. Her mother called me twice more, left voicemails about how I was destroying her daughter emotionally, and I needed to take responsibility for leading her on for 3 years. I saved the voicemails for documentation purposes, but never responded. Then something interesting happened. Last Wednesday, her best friend messaged me again on Instagram. Her friend, "I thought you should probably know something. She finally told me the complete truth about that Thursday night. I won't share specific details because that's not my place. But I will say this, you absolutely made the right call ending things. I'm genuinely sorry. She was my best friend for 8 years, but I can't defend what she actually did. I thank her for the honesty. I didn't ask for details. Part of me desperately wants to know exactly what happened, but the bigger, wiser part of me knows it doesn't actually matter anymore. The relationship is over regardless. The specific nature of her betrayal doesn't change that conclusion. What I do know is this. She lied about her location. She used her best friend as an unwitting cover story. When initially confronted, she lied again with a coworker excuse. When that story collapsed, she admitted to being at her ex's apartment, but insisted it was completely innocent. And now her own longtime best friend is confirming the truth was actually worse than even that admission. I don't need the specific details. I know more than enough. The practical logistics sorted themselves out quickly and cleanly. Her phone line was already removed from my plan. All streaming passwords had already been changed. I gathered everything of hers from my apartment, some clothes, toiletries, a few books, random accumulated items from 3 years, put it all in a box, and left it with my building's doorman. She picked it up 4 days later without incident. I changed my apartment locks completely. Cost $180 for the locksmith, but absolutely worth the peace of mind. All my emergency contacts were updated to my sister. Amazon account was secured, household removed. Total monthly financial impact of ending this relationship. Approximately $65 per month on her phone line, $35 per month on streaming services she primarily used, probably $100 per month on groceries and meals I was covering more than my share. Almost $200 monthly, I was quietly subsidizing her lifestyle without fully realizing it. Not a fortune by any means, but definitely not nothing either. And a useful reminder that the small accommodations in relationships compound over time. The emotional impact is much harder to calculate. 3 years with someone is genuinely significant. I thought I knew this person. I thought we were deliberately building something meaningful together. Discovering she was capable of this level of deception, the layered lies, the calculated alibis, the eventual trickle-truth confession only when backed into a corner, makes me question everything I thought I understood. Was Thursday night her first lie? Or just the first one I was lucky enough to catch? I'll probably never know the answer. And maybe that uncertainty is actually better than having the complete truth. My buddy asked me last weekend if I regretted how I handled everything. Specifically, was changing all the passwords and cutting off her phone before even confronting her too harsh. Too calculated? I thought about his question seriously. No, I genuinely don't regret any of it. Here's my reasoning. If I confronted her immediately that Thursday night at 1 a.m., I would have received the exact same cascade of lies. The coworker drink story, the defensive accusations about my jealousy and insecurity, the tears, the guilt tripping. I would have been put immediately on the defensive, forced to prove I wasn't being controlling or paranoid while she played the victim. By staying quiet and methodically removing her from my financial infrastructure first, I gave myself crucial time to think clearly. I didn't react from pure emotion. I acted deliberately and strategically. When we finally did have the conversation, I was calm and clear about what I knew and what I wanted. She couldn't manipulate her way out of the situation because I wasn't engaging emotionally anymore. That's not controlling behavior. That's protecting myself from someone who had already demonstrated she would lie without hesitation. The apartment feels emptier now. I won't pretend otherwise. 3 years of accumulated memories don't evaporate overnight. Some mornings I still instinctively check my phone, expecting a text from her, before remembering she's blocked. But I also sleep better now. I don't lay awake wondering where she is or who she's with. I don't have to analyze text about girl talk at her friend's place and hope desperately they're actually true. I don't have that constant low-level anxiety I didn't even realize I was carrying. That peace of mind is worth more than any streaming subscription or phone plan. Thanks for following along, Reddit.